So apparently India have successfully landed on the moon. Now this shows you how crazy the mainstream actually is here when we actually view the evidence of this historical moon landing. What we're going to see essentially is a terrible cartoon make space history. You can't make this stuff up. So a quick peep. First up, surprise, surprise, some cartoons. And I think we get some specifications of the lander and the rover. And I believe we look at some payload options here. There's some infrared tosh, and then just a load of nonsense. You would have thought by now it'd be full of cameras looking at the Earth 24/7, filming it in the highest quality possible. It'd be amazing. They'd be able to pay for their own space industry year in, year out, India, just based on ad revenue from the cameras they put on the moon. But no. And this was the lander as it was orbiting the moon, apparently. Again, ridiculous. Don't know where the sound is on this, but still. It's actually better than their last attempt anyway. It's a bit smoother, but yeah.
A very good
Ah, here we
evening to
go.
all of you. We at ISRO welcome you to the live coverage
Did I force you guys to get rid of the CB radios?
of India's prestigious Chandrayaan 3 mission's landing event on the lunar surface. These are the visuals from Mission Operation Complex at ISRO's Telemetry Tracking and Command Network, ISTRAC, situated in.
And then we get a quick glance at the control room here, the hub of this silly charade. And we can see just a load of people sat round looking at what looks like blank screens, but no doubt there's some numbers on that screen to justify in their heads this silly pantomime. Nothing we can see here that would justify or verify this in any shape or form as actually happening. No one's cross-referencing this in any shape or form. Just a load of people being paid very handsome, no doubt, for looking at screens with numbers on it. Ridiculous.
Namma Bengaluru, Karnataka. Dear viewers, the pivotal power descent has begun and the lander module is propelling towards the moon's surface along the intended trajectory.
जी हाँ, अब हम देख सकते हैं रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज की शुरुआत हो चुकी है।
Currently, the horizontal velocity has been brought down and the distance traveled is 574 kilometers. The current altitude is 27 kilometers as can be seen on the screen. We are very close to the moon's surface, nearly 2.6 kilometers as we can see. We are nearing the final phase of the power descent, which is going to be the vertical descent phase or the local navigation phase.
जी हाँ, अब हम फाइन ब्रेकिंग वेव के एकदम करीब आ चुके हैं। हाँ, आप तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट से सुन सकते हैं।
I mean, this is ridiculous. This is literally, as I've highlighted many times, grown men and women clapping, almost with demented looks on their faces here, as they look at numbers and cartoons. Crazy. Who are these people?
हम लोगों ने तीसरे चरण को भी बहुत ही सफलतापूर्वक हासिल कर लिया है और अभी हम वर्टिकल डिसेंट फेज में आ चुके हैं जिसकी शुरुआत भी बहुत ही अच्छे ढंग से हो चुकी है।
The altitude is being brought down from 800 meters and we are nearing an.
I'm seeing some interesting patterns in that propulsion system there. In fact, bear with me. I thought so. I mean, look, it's an unusual pattern their thrusters are creating there off their little RC thrusters off this historical cartoon here. But when you look at the RC thrusters, the pattern that is given us, and then you look at the shape of the lunar lander, the historical cartoon lunar lander, you end up with a Masonic compass and square there. You can't make this stuff up, you really can't. And the Grand Lodge of India was officially opened Friday the 24th of November 1961, okay? Then literally months later, the Indian Space Agency, we know as ISRO, was formed. Like I say, you cannot make this stuff up. Anyway, back to this historical cartoon.
And the lander module has begun its descent towards the landing site.
जी हाँ, आप अगर फिर से ध्यान से देखें तो एल्टीट्यूड पुनः कम होता जा रहा है। अभी हम लोग लगभग 135 मीटर की ऊंचाई पे हैं।
The sensors that are updating at this point are providing confirmation of the safety
Matey boy there literally rocking in his chair over that cartoon.
of the landing site.
जी हाँ, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं।
Now that just shows you how bad it's got. Space history has just been made there in front of our very eyes. And yet all we've seen is probably up there in the top 5 worst bits of special effects I think I've ever seen cited from a space agency. You see the obvious problem here?
कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल
These people are insane.
People
Sir, we have achieved soft landing on the moon. India
Mate, India ain't anywhere near the moon. They can't even get the camera to focus on you properly, yet alone land on the moon. All we've seen come from India is probably some of the worst special effects, I think, of all time. Definitely top 3. Most certainly top 5. But some of the worst special effects of all time cited from a space agency. That's all we've seen come from you, fella. And yet, bizarrely enough, that's cited as space history being made. Crazy times.